you have any questions, comments, concerns, come up to this microphone right here and use your name and address and tell us what's on your mind. Have the roll call, please.
Mayor Cedar,
Here.
Councilmember Gottler,
Here.
Councilmember Kufa,
Here.
Councilmember Laporte,
Here.
Councilmember Paul,
Here.
Councilmember Volk,
Here.
Councilmember Watt,
Here.
all present.
All right, thank you. Number 4 is the consent agenda. A, City Council minutes of February 5th, 2024, regular meeting, recommendation, approve.
Motion to approve. Support.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, let's go to ordinance and resolutions. Number 5A, Resolution 2405, recognition of nonprofit status, Friends of the St. Clair River.
Yes, Your Honor, as part of the application to the State of Michigan Charitable Gaming Division for a charitable gaming license, the application must include documentation that the local governing body recognizes the applicant as a nonprofit organization in the community. Friends of the St. Clair River is an environmental 501c3 organization established in 2007, whose mission is to protect and restore the St. Clair River watershed through community education, environmental monitoring, hands-on stewardship, and advocacy, and are currently located at 301 North 9th Street. The recommendation is to approve the resolution as presented to recognize the group as a nonprofit within the community.
So moved. Support.
Questions? Call the roll, please.
Gottler,
Yes.
Kufa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Volk,
Yes.
Watt,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes,
Resolution adopted. Thank you.
thank you. Number 6, reports from administration, Mr. Bishop.
I have a few things this evening I'd like to just provide updates on. First thing, we have a sludge line repair and replacement going on at the wastewater treatment plant right now. Skip Murray was the contractor who had won the bid for that work. He's working there as we speak right now. If you go by and you would see the pit, there's actually a lot of lines. It's not just a straight cut. There's a lot of utility underneath where he's working, and so the work is taking place, but he's being very careful to not disturb anything else. So far, so good. No major issues. On Saturday night, I'd just like to say just a special thank you to Ron Mitchell. He received a phone call. Well, first, Jamie Westmiller from the county had contacted Annette. Annette had contacted me. I had contacted the wastewater treatment plant, and we played this phone tag game Saturday night, which ended up being a scheduled power outage by DTE, which I have a phone call into them, recall back, that the city was not notified. I'd like to make that as a record. The city was not notified of the scheduled outage, or it didn't receive from my desk or Annette's. And so we just want to close the communication gap on when those things would occur. The fact that we do not have a backup generator at the wastewater treatment plant is something that I'm looking into. But Ron took the call. He showed up. I met him out there. He walked around the entire facility. He checked all the pumps. He checked all the buildings to make sure when the power came back on, everything was running. So we are good to go there. But just to address it, there was a scheduled power outage from DTE. We have received quotes from 6 different contractors. This is for the water main replacement on Goff and Lower Street. Within the quote itself, there was 2 things. One was an open cut in the road, and then there was an alternative option, which includes boring under the road, which is less intrusive and it doesn't disturb the pavement. So what we're trying to do is narrow down now the exact specifications for how much material they need, because that was not included by all 6. So right now, AEW is looking at the bid sheets. They're doing some calculations, and I'll have a recommendation coming back to you, if not the next meeting, but the meeting after. I want to give a quick update about the roundabout scheduled for construction at the corner of Range and Yankee. This is supposed to be occurring. It's an MDOT project. They'll be constructing this. This should be occurring later in the summer and into the fall. What I've done is I've contacted East China School District, talked with Ms. Saibula to give her plenty of notice, because what's going to ultimately happen is Range and Yankee is going to be under construction, and there's going to be a middle school that's going to start their school year, and they need to have plans to detour.
When's that starting?
They're planning on starting it late summer and into the fall. Why this is important to the city specifically is because we are putting out bids by April 30th for the water main booster station and elevated water tower that's supposed to be going in. Now, it would be a travesty if they were to construct a roundabout and then we were to go in after and then lay the water line in, because we would tear up a brand new roundabout in order to do that. So I have asked Fishback, contact MDOT, who we will also be meeting, to accelerate a portion of the water line installation before the roundabout goes in. So a section of the water main would go in and it would lay dormant until the rest of the project caught itself up. But we thought it imprudent to go ahead, have the work done, and then we start after them, and then all the costs associated with tearing out the road, and then having to put it back. So there is a section, we'll be seeing a bid for that, but it is, I want to say it now, so when the bid comes, I don't want to create a false expectation that, okay, we're green light, go for the whole project. It's just a section of the road to get it ahead of the construction of the roundabout.
Is that the state or the county that requests to have a roundabout right there, or who is that? What's the criteria for that?
It's an MDOT project, and so I am not sure how that specific road qualified for a project and where they planned it, how they planned it, and the timelines for it. The County Road Commission would have a better idea. They were also on that original call in the pre-construction meeting. But John, I don't know specifically how that was chosen as the roundabout or what criteria was made for that. That is all I have for updates. If you have any questions.
Questions for,
You mentioned that we don't have a backup power supply at the water treatment plant.
Wastewater.
Wastewater. Do we have one at the water treatment plant?
do.
Do we have one here?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Do we have one at any other, like, I was just thinking the Pine Shores Golf Course is a, frequently used facility, is also a voting location. Are we required to have backup power supplies at voting locations?
We are not, but it's something I'm pursuing as part of a grant, is to get a
Okay.
generator there.
Yeah, I think that'd be wise. And not to mention if we needed a warming or cooling station in a power loss situation in the city, I think having locations like that we could run power would be wise for us to have a couple of them. Just a thought.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I have this evening.
thank you. Mr. Downey, you got anything?
Nothing this
Any
evening, Your
questions
Honor.
for Mr. Downey? Any city departments?
Yes, I have a report tonight. As you can see, we have voting booths set up. Early voting started on Saturday. Polls are open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. through Sunday, February 25th. Overall, things are going great. We have new tabulator, new voter assist terminal, new electronic poll book. We have a new team of 4 every day, so the workers aren't overwhelmed with the 9 days in a row. So again, everything overall is going well. Early voting is new. It's new to the state of Michigan. There's not a lot of awareness of it. I think as the year progresses, it will be used more frequently. But for now, for the last 3 days, we've had a total of 18 voters use the early voting. But it's been good. It's been good for us to see how the process goes and use this new equipment. And again, I feel as the year progresses and most likely for the presidential election in November, it'll be heavily utilized. So it's good that we're having this practice, so to speak. A couple of numbers. The clerk's office has mailed out 671 AV ballots, and we've received back 453 of those. So that's pretty good turnout for a presidential primary. Business license renewals are complete for the year. We currently have 196 active businesses. I just think that's an interesting number, so I like to report that every year. A couple more new businesses are moving in, which is great for the community, and those will be added to our license being pretty soon as well. Be a Tourist in Your Own Town will be promoted for Saturday, May 18th. And lastly, the group Women's Life, Chapter 814, has added Hillside Cemetery's Wreath Across America efforts to their fundraisers for this year. So what that means is that they will match up to the first $500 raised for the purchasing of wreaths. Those will be placed in December as part of the Wreath Across America ceremony. So those efforts will gear up as the Cemetery Board of Trustees meets up this spring. So I thought that was pretty great that we have a partner for our new program. Thank you.
Anybody else? No unfinished business. Let's go number 8, new business, approve special event for American Legion Memorial Day Parade and Remembrance Ceremony.
On behalf of Chief Raker, we're requesting a special event permit for the annual St. Clair Memorial Day Parade. This is an event permit for the parade and remembrance observance scheduled for Monday, May 27th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The parade will begin at 6th Street and Vine, heading east on Vine to North Riverside, turning south and ending at Memorial Park for the remembrance ceremony. Setup will take place a week prior on May 27th, and tear down is sometime after May 28th. All the necessary documents and compliance is in order. It really is the same format. There is really no change to it, and the ceremony to follow is scheduled as it was before.
Motion to approve.
Warrant.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Order number 9, claims and accounts for February 8th, February 15th, 2024.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 10 is public comment. Anybody have any non-agenda items they'd like to talk about? I'll ask for a 3-minute time limit. You know, anybody have anything? Yes, sir?
Just wondering how the city's standing at the school on 6th Street. Or Tarsus that they had.
The middle school? The middle school.
Wonder if you both did the.
Yes. Yep, I'll give you a quick update on that. It's good to see you, Bill, by the way. Welcome back from Florida. You're welcome. So, what we may or may not know is that during the water event and the freezing, there's no heat inside of the middle school. And so, when the pipes froze and when they thawed, a pipe burst. It was a rather large pipe. And so, the building flooded. The building flooded to the point where it was unsafe to enter the building until the water was removed. And so, over the course of the last few days, the water has been removed. At first, slowly, we called the maintenance, we didn't call the owner, we called his hired maintenance worker to remove that water. They did bring in larger pumps, and the water has been brought out of the building. It's down to basically the cement level now. They do have some water residual coming through the block just because of the amount of water was there. The water has been properly shut off, not only at the street level, but inside the building. And so next steps is to have the water treatment whoever is assigned to the meter reading this month, they need to go in and check the meter. One, I want to ensure that the meter has not been damaged because it was underwater, right? But I want to ensure that the facility itself, there's no other major leaks. There's no surprise when there's a 4-inch line and you're leaking at that rate. We see major jumps in the water that we're producing. If there's a silver lining in all of it, it happened in the wintertime, right, when there's not a lot of high usage. But we really need to be mindful of these things because if it happened in the summertime when people are watering their lawns and there's more water usage in general, that could really put a tax on our system. And so the water treatment plant, and I mentioned before at the last meeting, Bill, DPW workers were out there not only on the weekends trying to locate it. It wasn't until they actually saw water coming out the front door until they pinned it that it was actually in the interior of the building. So as of right now, water's out. We're going in, scheduled to check the meter to make sure that the infrastructure that we have, that we own, it's in working order. And that's where it stands today. It is revoked. It is revoked. It has been passed by resolution by the city. Now it's been filed with the State Tax Commission. What I've been informed is that the year in which that the tax, the CRE, commercial rehabilitation exemption, is revoked, it takes effect December 31st of that year. And so essentially what happens on that benefit that they had, that exemption, lasts throughout 2024 because we completed this in January of 2024. But it is done. It's a done deal, and the State Tax Commission has been notified.
Anybody else? All right, let's go to number 11, Mayor and Council. Anybody have anything? I have a couple quick things. We lost a couple of businessmen from the city of St. Clair. Everybody remembers Goff Drug Store and Erickson Drug Store. John Erickson passed away. And then Joe Riedel owned the laundromat down in the mall, Joe Riedel. So our thoughts and prayers out to their families. Anybody else?
Hearing nothing else, Your Honor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Everybody have a good night. Be careful out there.